Aurora had $0 in her bank account, but she had something far more dangerous: rage. For 7 years, she had tried to climb the corporate ladder, waiting for that annual raise, only to find that at the end of every year, the numbers in her account remained stubbornly the same. She had done everything she was supposed to do. She got the degree, she saved her pennies, she even dabbled in stocks, but she was still drowning in the paycheck to paycheck swamp. Aurora finally realized she wasn't playing the game. She was the fuel for the game. She wasn't on a ladder to wealth, she was on a high speed financial hamster wheel. That was the day she decided to burn the old rulebook. Aurora threw away everything she was taught about slow and steady and drew a mathematical blueprint to her first million. When she completed that map 5 years later, her account finally showed 7 figures. My name is Jack, and I've spent the last 8 months obsessing over that exact map, the definitive blueprint from $0 to $1 million. Today, I'm not going to tell you to work harder or manifest your dreams. I'm going to talk to you about numbers, psychology, and how to force the system to work for you instead of against you. If you're like Aurora, tired of just participating in the game and ready to own the board, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Because what we're about to map out isn't just about money, it's about total financial sovereignty. Here's the thing: most people think of their first million as a single lucky event, a lottery win, a surprise inheritance, or a lucky stock pick. But the reality is that the first million isn't luck. It's a sequence of systemic phases. The first thing Aurora realized was that the path from $0 to $100,000 and the path from $100,000 to $1 million are two entirely different worlds with entirely different rules. In the first phase, your biggest enemy isn't the banks or the economy, it's your own consumer instincts. When Aurora started her blueprint, she asked herself one question: am I selling my time to buy a lifestyle? Or am I buying my future? Most people get a paycheck and immediately use it to buy someone else's assets: the car, the clothes, the tech. You pay interest to the bank, you give your money to Apple for a new iPhone, you pay Starbucks for a latte. You are working for everyone else except yourself. The first rule of Aurora's map was the capital accumulation phase. In this stage, she made herself invisible to the world. She stopped looking rich so she could actually become rich. She widened the gap between what she earned and what she spent to the absolute limit. This is the most painful, yet most critical step in the blueprint, because until you have the seed, you can never dream of the harvest. But this wasn't just about saving. Aurora knew one thing for sure: saving might make you safe, but it will never make you wealthy. To go from $0 to $1 million, you need a multiplier. When Aurora moved into the second phase of her blueprint, she uncovered the biggest secret of the salary cage. You can never get rich selling your time. Time is a finite resource. You can't work more than 24 hours a day, no matter how much caffeine you drink. So, Aurora shifted her focus from time to value. She introduced a new concept into her blueprint: the scalability pivot. Aurora asked herself, how can I provide value to people while I'm asleep? She stopped selling her UX design skills as a service and started selling them as digital products and automated systems. She evolved from being a laborer to being a system builder. In this phase, Aurora took the scariest step on the map: leverage. Leverage is the art of achieving massive results with minimal effort. Wealthy people leverage other people's time, other people's money, and technology. Aurora wasn't drawing the projects herself anymore. She built a system that managed the projects. She used technology, AI, and automation to turn a 10-hour task into a 10-minute process. Her income was no longer tied to how tired she was. Her income was tied to how efficient her system was. Now, you might be thinking, Jack, that sounds great, but I don't have Aurora's skills. But the blueprint works for everyone. The first million is a math game. If you sell a $1,000 product to 1,000 people, you're a millionaire. If you sell a $10 product to 100,000 people, you're still a millionaire. It's not about how hard you work. It's about how much value you can distribute to how many people. Aurora remembers the day she hit her first million. She didn't go to the bank. She opened her laptop and saw a seven-figure number. And do you know what the craziest part was? She no longer needed the loans, the car financing, or the pre-approved cards that the bank was constantly shoving in her face. She had broken out of the system. She was no longer a perfect target for the banks. She was a stranger to them. Because she was no longer living for a paycheck, she was living for the assets she had built. You might be standing at the $0 mark today. Maybe you're buried in debt. But Aurora's story proves that your current position is not your destination. It's just your starting coordinate. What you need isn't just more money, it's the blueprint that Aurora followed. Stop accepting your salary as your ceiling. Treat it as the fuel to build your own ship. As soon as your ship is ready, sail away from the shore of predictable income. The $1 million isn't far away. It's just on the other side of a system you haven't mastered yet. Which stage of the map are you on today? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to deep dive into each of these phases, type "Give me the map" below. Let's break the system together. I'll see you in the next video. Most people type "Give me the map," but only about 1% are actually willing to walk through the valley of shadow that the map dictates. You see, when Aurora approached her first $100,000, she hit the most dangerous psychological wall, the illusion of safety. This is where most people fail. They see six figures and think they've won, so they fall back into the very consumer traps they were trying to escape. But Aurora understood a fundamental truth. Wealth isn't what you see, it's what you don't buy. She suppressed her ego and turned every single cent into a capital soldier that fought for her freedom while she slept. Let's talk about the engine of her blueprint: compound interest hydraulics. Financial textbooks describe this as simple bank interest, but for Aurora, it was a time multiplier. It took her 4 grueling years to scrape together the first $100,000, but the next $400,000 appeared in less than 18 months. Why? Because she had decoupled her income from her heartbeat. She stopped selling her hours as a UX designer and started building automated interface libraries used by thousands of companies globally. She transformed from a freelancer into a digital landlord. Now, you might say, "Jack, I don't have technical skills." Neither did Aurora when she started. Her secret weapon was information arbitrage. She found information that was cheap in one corner of the market and packaged it into a high-value system for another. Your salary is essentially a bribe. Your boss pays you to forget your own dreams. Aurora didn't just quit. She used that bribe as the fuel to build her escape vessel. Here is the hardest part of the blueprint. To exit the system, you must first master the system. You might hate your 9 to 5, but that job is your initial venture capitalist. Aurora worked for the corporation until 6 p.m., but from 6 p.m. until midnight, she worked for the Aurora Empire. She never sold the same hour twice. She worked once and created assets that could be replicated 1,000,000 times over. The world has changed. You no longer need a factory to become a millionaire. You need a laptop, a connection, and that same rage Aurora felt. Stop being a spectator in the economy and start being an architect. The banks aren't your friends. They are looking for perfect targets to keep in debt. Aurora became a stranger to them because she stopped needing their permission. If you are at zero today, congratulations. You have the ultimate advantage: hunger. Use that hunger to build a scalable skill. Learn to code, create content, build systems, or master algorithms. Physical labor provides a living, but intellectual systems provide a fortune. Look in the mirror tonight and ask yourself, am I a customer of the system, or do I own a piece of it? If you don't like the answer, start drawing your own map today. The $1 million isn't a destination. It's a side effect of the person you become while building the system. In the next video, I'll show you exactly how Aurora protected her first $10,000 from the tax trap. Stay tuned, because the game is just getting started. Let's break the system together.